is Chet Holmgren, and I'm down to dunk.
This is AJ Mitchell, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Alex Crusoe, and I'm down to dunk.
It's like baby bottle pop. Yeah.
This is Adam Flagler, and I'm down to dunk.
Hey, it's Isaiah Hartenstein, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Kason Wallace, and I'm down to dunk.
I can't spell Lucas. Hey, how do you spell Lucas? How do you spell Lucas?
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
This is Nikola Topic, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Dylan Jones, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Isaiah Joe, and I'm down to dunk.
And there's probably like 50 to 75 Beanie Babies.
Give me like your top 3 Pokemon.
Brother, I can't even name.
This is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
Sometimes the way his brain works is it leaves a lot to be desired.
This is Kenrich Williams, and I'm down to dunk.
Charmander.
Charmander.
Or you're more of a Charmeleon guy.
Charmeleon.
This is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
Schlecht. You know what it
Schlecht?
means? Yeah.
That means like bad.
It means bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's me.
Well, it was a good interview, so it wasn't bad.
J-Dub, year 3, and I'm down to dunk for the 3rd time. Thank you.
Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. Before I get to my good friend, Alex Speers, I'm going to tell you about 2 other good friends of mine, Aaron and Drew Reese of Shelter Insurance. Contact Drew, 405-478-7714, or Aaron, 405-773-5500. A call or a text, both acceptable, to Aaron or Drew to talk about getting your car insured or maybe your home insured. Because listen, something's going to happen. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Something's going to happen, and you're going to need to have good insurance from guys that you can trust. And I promise you, these are 2 guys you can trust. So please give them a call and support the people that support Down to Dunk with me on a Tuesday evening. This just doesn't even feel right. It's my good friend Alex Speers. Alex, what's up?
What's up, Andrew?
This is all my fault. So if this is a weird timing for you, also really weird timing for me. Al, nothing's happened. Still Jonathan Kuminga feuding with the Golden State Warriors. Josh Giddey. Is there even news about why Josh Giddey hasn't signed? Like, that's just
No.
I don't really understand what's happening there. Like, nothing's happening. Everybody's on vacation. That's what's happening in the NBA right now, is that everybody's on vacation, or they're getting their kids back in school. Everyone's just living normal lives right now.
Hey, speaking of vacation, I wanted to give a shout out to one of our listeners because this was probably the most random dunker interaction I've ever had.
I'm excited to hear this. I haven't heard this yet.
Which was, I was walking out of a Starbucks in Grand Rapids, Michigan at a hotel. Grand Rapids. I'd never been to Grand Rapids. It's the 2nd biggest city in Michigan. I'd never been to Michigan.
Wow.
It was fine.
It's good. It's fine.
It honestly felt like a city that was built for conventions. Like, it was very walkable, very easy to get around, but not like a ton of personality, I would say. But I'm sure if I was there a little bit longer, I would have found some cool stuff. That said, I was walking out of Starbucks and I hear Al Baby Cakes?
No way. No way.
And shout out to Alvin, one of our dunkers. He was also in Grand Rapids for a conference at the same hotel at that same time. And just, I guess, recognized me. I was with my son. And he's a fan from Seattle.
Oh, wow.
And one of the original, like from Seattle, and he and his family flew out for some finals games.
Wow!
So big fans, and I guess he's a fan of the pod. He said him and his son listened to it, and so it was very cool. Just random, because obviously, like, last place I would expect to meet a dunker.
Yeah.
Like, why would a dunker be in Grand Rapids in a hotel? But that was very cool.
That is awesome. That is amazing. Wow. Shout out to Alvin. Man.
It was very fun.
Man, that's amazing. So last week for the Wednesday pod, Alex was not on the episode. Yossi Goslin hopped on with me to just discuss, like, what's does the cap sheet look like for the Thunder moving forward? What are some ways that they can move forward? I think a lot of people think that Isaiah Hartenstein is the guy that you just kind of send off and then everything's cool, which is like the easiest way to get there. And you could say like, yeah, their draft signaled that with Thomas Sorber and, but there's also like the other idea that, listen, Isaiah Hartenstein's easily one of the 5 best players on the team. And if you can keep that kind of guy around, you should. And you could deal away other guys that are toward the back end of the roster. And I just thought it was really interesting to kind of go through that exercise. And I also just wanted to hear your thoughts on it, Al, just because I thought Yossi had some interesting points.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, shout out to SportsFan 405 because he's been DMing me about this the entire summer, and I agree with him. He's convinced me. But it comes down to this idea that like the Hartenstein contract is talked about as this either or thing. You either pick up the option and pay the $28.5 million, or you don't pick it up and he goes and somewhere else in free agency. But there is a third option, which when you start going into it, actually may be the most likely option, which is that you can decline the option and re-sign him at a lower number. Because if you're not picking up that option and he goes into free agency, he'd be an unrestricted free agent. We saw this summer that there wasn't a ton of cap space. There is going to be more cap space next summer, but there's other factors like the overall cap is only going to go up by 7%. Versus 10%, which was what was anticipated, what teams were planning for. So yes, there is going to be cap space, but it's going to be concentrated to a few teams. And are those teams going to give Isaiah Hartenstein $28.5 million in the same way that OKC did? I don't know, because that contract felt like a very perfect storm type of contract.
Yeah,
OKC was in this amazing position where their young players hadn't reached their second contracts yet. They could throw out a lot of money to just get a center, to get one of the better free agents on the market, and they were able to do it. Now, there are some teams, I'm going to read you off the teams that have some amount of cap space. So I don't know the exact number because we don't know the exact number. I will say the Brooklyn Nets and maybe the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets, Chicago Bulls, and Washington Wizards are the 3 that I know should have a lot of cap space. I know the Wizards could have like 100 million or something absurd. Some other teams that will have cap space: the Lakers, the Clippers, the Trailblazers, and the Jazz. So it's really a lot of bad teams, and then the Lakers and Clippers, the 2 LA teams. Now the Clippers, they have guys that they on their team that they would want to re-sign. So some of these teams, their cap space may get gobbled up kind of quick just by.
Well, you have Zubats in.
LA, exactly, and that's that's the other thing. So some of these teams have centers in place. You would assume that maybe they'd be interested in Hartenstein, but if they already have a center, maybe they wouldn't be interested in giving him $28.5 million.
Yeah.
And so then you start talking yourself, okay, well, like, what could he get? Like, what is a fair contract for Hartenstein on an open market? Because when he came to the market last time, it was kind of this bizarro market where there just happened to be this perfect team who was ready to contend, felt like they just needed this one final piece and were able to splurge on it. I don't look at any of these teams and feel that way necessarily. I mean, I think he'd be a great fit for the Lakers, but maybe DeAndre Ayton works out and they're not really in the market for a center.
You might. Yeah, he very well could.
Who knows? I could see the Bulls being interested in because Vucevic is going to be coming up. And so like they'll have a spot available for a center.
Yes, that's the one that I was thinking would make the most sense.
But at the same time, like if you're going to give, I guess they're not going to give $30 million to Giddey. Let's say 25 to Giddey. You give another 25 to Hartenstein. You already are paying Patrick Williams 25. I don't know. I almost feel like you're already building a core that isn't going anywhere really quickly. At the same time, like Hartenstein would be a great pickup for them. Like
he would help them a ton.
He would help them a ton. But like, how desperate are they going to be? And from Hartenstein's standpoint, like if it's a difference of a couple million, would he just rather stay in OKC?
Yeah.
Versus going and getting maybe a couple more million per year in Chicago.
Yeah. Well, it's just also funny. Like Hartenstein is the 8th highest paid center for this next season. With the
Yeah.
guys that are above him, Alperen Şengün will be making 33.9, Rudy Gobert 35 flat, Bam Adebayo 37, Cat 53, AD 54, Jokic 55, Joel Embiid 55.
And who's below him? Who are
The
some of the
guys
names
that are
immediately
below him, so he makes 28.5. Nick Claxton is next on the list.
Yeah.
25.3. Miles Turner at 25.3. Naz Reid, who just signed a deal at 21.5.
And his does go up because
Yes.
he will eventually make like 25. But yeah,
Yeah.
it starts pretty low, which is
And
nice.
it's the only other two guys that are making 20 is Vucci Main at 21,
Yeah.
and Jared Allen at 20 flat. Then everybody else is
That was a
below
great
that.
deal.
Everybody else is below that. So it's
And,
just
like,
it's just interesting. Like I just don't know that you can, if you're Hartenstein, and this is where like you're saying like it makes sense to get him on a different deal. Like it's like, hey, look around at the guys that are playing big roles for their teams. Like that, like they're making closer to 20 guys that are like starting caliber centers. Like I just wonder if that is a conversation.
Well, I think even if you throw OKC out of it and he was just a free agent, I
Mm-hmm.
think that number falls somewhere between 20 and 25 million per year.
I think that
For some team.
sense. I think it makes
I would be surprised if the Bulls, who aren't willing to give, Giddey 30 million, that they're going to suddenly splurge like 28, 29 per year on Hartenstein.
Yeah.
As their like highest paid player. I
Right.
just find that hard to believe. So I do think it will fall somewhere in that 20 to $25 million range.
Yeah.
And so if you can get him in that range, all of a sudden you can start like finding ways to get below the second apron, which is really all you care about next season. Or I guess 2 seasons.
It's not
from
next
now.
season. Yeah, the season after that, which is it's wild that they're going to not pay the tax this year.
It really is wild. That you have like such a chill, like there's really nothing to talk about for this upcoming season in terms of the financial aspect. Like they filled their roster spots, they're under the luxury tax. Like that's it. We're good.
I was listening to the Rice to Ricky Sanchez pod. I think I don't remember if I mentioned this on this show or somewhere else, but it's like the Thunder are in this spot where it's like so good for the team, but not as good for podcasting because there's nobody on the team that like you would want to trade. There's no drama with contracts or anything. Everyone outside of Oos right now on the team is good. Like there's just not a whole lot to like discuss, and like we have to talk about things like, okay, and after a year, what are they going to do with Isaiah Hartenstein, who's a very good player? Well, they might have very good backup centers behind him that are ready to go. There's an option there. They're going to have another draft pick next year, if not multiple. Then like what happens? There's just they have planned this team so well, like meticulously well, and it's all you can't always plan for it to go this well, but somehow it's all just kind of fallen into place just perfectly.
Well, you think about during the tanking years,
Yeah.
when every discussion about OKC would always come back to like they can't use all these picks. They're going to have to give away some good young guys. They've made it now. They've won a championship without ever having to give away a truly good young guy. I mean, Trey Mann is the best at this point.
Trey Mann is the best. Yeah,
I would say.
Ty Jerome. They had to let him.
Well, sure. I don't think anyone was thinking about Ty Jerome when they were saying they're going to have to let go of good young guys.
Poku, Bays.
Poku champion. Bays unfortunately got injured.
It is wild. Like, and even like some of the guys that we were attached to, or even some of the guys that we thought were going to be really good, like Jeremiah Robinson Earl, or somebody like
even
that.
The guys that are still in the league wouldn't get minutes on this team. That other than Giddey, of course, and I guess Giddey would be the one like quote unquote good young player that they had to move on, but they didn't actually have to move on. That was a proactive move.
There's not one person that thinks they should,
Right.
if they could go back in time, if you could
Yeah.
somehow back to the future this thing, that you should undo that trade. There's
So
not
not
a lot
only
of-
have the excess of picks not been an issue, but they've also managed to stay under the cap and add talent to this team the entire time. So it's just,
absurd.
I mean, if you could go back and show some of those people what happened, like it would be so disheartening just knowing that, oh my gosh, this team that everyone's drooling over, it's actually going to work out for them in the exact way that their fans are describing.
The exact way. I mean, it just like unfolded, and it so much faster than you would have assumed too. I mean, it is,
and like we've talked about, because you got the championship last year, it takes all this pressure sort of off of this year. Well, you can at least acknowledge that the pressure would be higher this year if they hadn't won the championship.
Yeah, like imagine, like, go to a very dark place with me for 35 seconds in which the Thunder lose that game 4, the game that we thought they were going to lose.
Let's say Dort doesn't hit those 3 threes, since that turned out to be the best playoff moment in our tournament. That won.
I agree with that. Let's say
Dort doesn't hit those threes in game 5 against Denver. They lose game 5.
Yeah.
They're probably losing game 6 in that scenario.
Yeah, they lose the series to Denver. There is a ton of pressure because it's like, hey, like, clock's ticking. You're going to have to pay for this team. And are they good enough?
Yeah.
And like, are you going to make the trade? We'd be on Giannis watch all the time. It would
especially going out in the second round. Like, you lose to the Pacers, like it would all be about like, oh my gosh, this miracle team. They just had like one of the craziest runs in NBA history. They defeated this like juggernaut regular season team.
But it would be like, are the Thunder? You remember the Thunder got there in 2012 and never got back there again.
Right.
You know, we like be having those conversations about.
All that to say, like, the fact that we're in this spot right now, and the only like tension point we can find is a year away. That's like we're taking an entire year off of tension, and we're looking in the future. Can we please find something to talk about?
We find something.
I mean, there are little tension points for this upcoming season. Like, I think Topic is the big one. Like,
sure.
What is he going to look like? How are they going to integrate him? But that's all fun stuff. Like, that's
but like, the truth is, if Nikola Topic doesn't work out, it will have little to no impact on the future of this franchise.
Yeah, you could argue that Sorber working out could have a bigger impact, or like not working out could have a bigger impact.
Sure.
Because of what we're talking about right now with Hartenstein.
Yeah, and I think I'm with you on that. Yeah.
And that's why when talking about, to do or not to do with Hartenstein, I do think it's important to point out that it's very easy to say Sorber was drafted to be future iHeart. And I think that makes sense. And we see the highlights and how he can be a Thunder player, and that would be amazing.
Yeah.
The most likely scenario is that doesn't happen. Like, it's just hard to just draft a player and for him to become as good as Isaiah Hartenstein.
Sure.
It might happen because they're such a good drafting team, but it might not. And the thing that's, I think, is so hard is that these guys who are being drafted now, you're not just projecting on them to be rotation players. That's hard enough.
Yeah.
Just to draft a rotation player is hard enough. You're projecting on them to be a rotation player in an NBA Finals within the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, that is so hard. And obviously there are players that have done it. Cason Wallace did it. Like, how crazy that would be after we draft him to be like, I think this guy can be a top 7 player on a championship team by his second season. Like, that would sound crazy to say, but that's what turned out to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, even going back, really going back to J-Dub's rookie season, being like, I think this guy could be the second best guy on a championship team by his 4th season. Like, a lot of that has been crazy. And so maybe the Thunder are just like in this groove right now, 3rd season, in this groove right now where maybe I should expect something of Sorber simply because they've hit on so many picks. So maybe the more likely outcome is he does become a rotation player. But I just want to point out that, like, asking these newly drafted guys to not just be rotation players, not just contribute to winning, but actually be able to play in an NBA Finals and win NBA Finals games. It is asking a lot.
Yeah. Well,
And that's why you go and trade for someone like Alex Caruso, because we saw what a difference that makes having a veteran like that.
Yeah, they don't do this whole thing. They don't win the title without him. Because Casey Wallace, like there were moments in the finals where he just didn't have it going. And
Right.
even in some of those games against Denver, like things got tight for some of these guys. And the fact that you had guys like Isaiah Hartenstein and Caruso to turn to in those moments, because there were games and moments where you're like, man, I can count on like 4 guys, I think, in this game. And Caruso was always one of them. Like Caruso was so essential and will be moving forward. Because I've even seen some people say like, oh, maybe they can move off of Caruso, at this point or that point. Like, I don't know. Like, eventually I think Casey Wallace will be a veteran. And then I think that if he's a guy that continues to stick around, I think absolutely he can fill that role. But even still, like Kaysen in year 3, he was one of their best players, but there are also moments where it was like, hey, we really need to rely on these other guys. He's only 21. He'll turn 22 in November.
Yeah. And I think the other thing you have to factor in is when talking about like how are we going to mix and match these guys? Some of these guys have way more trade value than others.
Yeah.
Even though they might not be the best players among their position group. Like Kaysen Wallace probably has he probably has more trade value than a lot of guys on this roster that are better than him, simply because he is on, for right now and for next season, actually for the next 2 seasons. Yeah.
2 seasons. Yeah.
He'll be on a cost controlled rookie contract. And he also
21.
And he's 21, and he projects to be a guy who, unless he like really blows up, will probably be making somewhere in the range of, like 20 to 25 million per year.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Because I was listening, I don't know if you listened to it yet, the Game Theory podcast, and they were trying to find like who are good trade targets around the league. And Bryce brought up Kaysen Wallace as one, not from the standpoint of like, oh, OKC is going to trade him, but just like, okay, once they get to next summer, if you're a team who likes Kaysen Wallace, could you potentially overpay? And by doing so, like solve an issue for OKC, because they probably can't pay all of Dort, Caruso, and Kaysen Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
And you could entice them to do that by overpaying, by giving them kind of whatever the equivalent of a Godfather offer for a player like Kaysen Wallace would be. Obviously, you're not going to get like a crazy haul, but like you probably would get a pretty decent haul for Kaysen Wallace because of his age and contract.
Yeah.
And then I think the other name he brought up was Wiggins, mostly because of his contract as well. So, yeah. So I do have, let me share it. So I started making a. Oh no! Oh wait, I don't think you need to. Tell me if this works.
Okay, I'm not seeing anything yet. Shall we take a break while you figure this out?
Yeah, because I have to close and reopen. So yes.
Okay, let's take a quick break. We come back. We're going to look at this spreadsheet, an Excel file. It's going to be crazy. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back. And we're back after that quick break while Al gets this Excel sheet out. Let me tell you about my good friends at Bob Moore Kia. Listen, not only are these great people at Bob Moore Kia, but they want to put you in one of the nicest vehicles on the road. Plain and simple. Right now, you can get a 2025 Kia Telluride, $389 per month for 36 months, 10K miles a year, $3,999 due at signing. The Telluride is amazing. Go test drive it. Go tell them, hey, Down to Dunk sent me, Bob Moore Kia, on Northwest Expressway in between Council and Rockwell. Bob Moore Kia, listen, hey, Down to Dunk sent me. I want to test drive a Telluride. I want to test drive a Kia K5. Very cool car. That's $289 a month for 36 months on 10K miles per year. $3,499 due at signing. Go check them out today. Bob Moore Kia. Support the people that support Down to Dunk. You won't regret it. If you've never considered driving a Kia, I'm telling you, go test drive one. It'll change your mind. They're amazing. Really enjoyed. We've got the Kia Carnival right now. That's the picture of me and my family with the Sorrento. Sorrento is amazing. I love Sorrento. Wouldn't mind driving a Sorrento again. Go get yourself behind the wheel of a Kia at Bob Moore Kia here in OKC. Okay, Al.
Let's see if this works.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to show you. So this is just all pulled from Hoops Hype.
Yeah.
Hoops Hype. I am sharing it. Are you there? We go. Okay, so on the left-hand side of the screen, we are looking at the current cap for this upcoming season.
Yep.
Where the Thunder have about 188.9 million committed. And then going forward, I have two columns for the season after, 26 and 27, just so that we could do a few different versions of it and see how close we can get. So down there at the bottom is the second apron projected amount for that season, the 26-27 season, which is 222.372 million. And currently for next season, with all of their contracts, which we'll talk about some of these, you can kind of immediately cross off. They currently have committed 254.7.
Yeah.
So we're talking about being about $32 million over the second apron. And the goal is to get below that as best we can. I think because as you guys talked about on Wednesday, they're eventually going to be in the second apron. It'll be hard to avoid it at some point.
Yeah.
Although I will say, if they continue to draft well and continue to churn like the middle and back of this roster with young guys who eventually pop, who knows? Anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Yeah, and the thing is too, who is the last guy that turned out really good for the Thunder that did not look good at all in year one?
Yeah, we've talked about this. I think the best answer, you have to go back to like Robertson.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back pretty far.
It was a while.
I just think like we'll know something about Thomas Sorber pretty quick. And if like Thomas Sorber is good, which he was very productive as a young player, and this dude looks so young. He is so young. Thomas Sorber. I've talked to him a couple times. He's very young. But if like we know we're 40 games in, we've seen Sorber in, a bunch of different situations, and it's like, oh my gosh, like this guy can actually play, then like it becomes quite easy to like navigate all of this. Now it's like it's not easy in the sense that like you really don't want to see Isaiah Hartenstein go because he's such a good player, and on top of that, like so great for the community. You wouldn't want to just see him go. But financially, there are easy ways around it.
So the other thing you'll see here on the right side of the screen is that they do have 3 first-round picks as of right now. I'm kind of ignoring the Utah pick. I don't think that's going to be conveying, unfortunately. So that'll turn. I think that turns into seconds or something.
What's the protection on it again?
It's top 8. I mean, good luck. Maybe.
No, heck no.
Can you talk? Can you come up with a scenario?
I mean,
what would it involve?
It would be like so many teams being so much worse than we think. Like New Orleans is completely in the tank. Brooklyn will be there. Washington will be there. Charlotte has to be worse than we think. Then we're talking about teams like Chicago, Sacramento, Portland.
They would kind of have to end up at like 6 and then fall to 9.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the only way. Also, there's no seconds coming. Their obligation is extinguished.
Okay. Well,
which is a bummer.
It is a bummer, but like
we can't complain.
It just won the NBA championship.
But yeah, so we have the Philly pick and then the 2 best of Clippers, Houston, OKC. So I just put in some numbers based on what rookie scale contracts are looking right now. I let's just say one of them is like a mid first round pick. That I made that the Philly pick. So like around $5 million in their first year.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other 2 are more late first rounders. Because I do think two of these three teams are probably going to be really good, and it's probably going to be the Clippers and the Rockets. And so now we're talking about like 2.8 million. Now they don't have to draft three players. Obviously, they could trade one of these picks and kick it down the road.
Yep.
But as you start going through this exercise, you start seeing the benefits of bringing in a rookie.
Sure.
Especially if they're making like 2.8 million. If it's a late first and they're kind of making AJ Mitchell money, a little bit more than that over the length of their contract, like
yeah,
if you like the guy, that would be amazing to have on this team.
Yeah, I also know that you want to have picks when these guys are in their prime, and believe it or not, even though they just won the NBA championship, these guys are not in their overlapping primes yet. And so you also want to have as many draft picks as you can have during that portion, not only to bring in cheap guys, but like to have available for trade whenever you maybe know a little bit more about the roster. Like you just want to have as many picks during that time as you can.
And then I also included 3 two-ways, all making what Brandon Carlson and Brooks Barnhizer are making this season.
Yeah.
Could someone explain to me why Leon's is making $2 million?
He's not. Year? He's on E10.
E10, that's why. Okay. So I just put that in as a placeholder. Yeah. So can we both agree that Ousmane Dieng is probably not going to be on this team in the 26-27 season?
It would be jarring.
And right now he has a $9 million qualifying offer. So if they turn that down, send him to unrestricted free agency. Let's just take that off of both of them.
He'll be on Charlotte soon.
The pipeline.
There will be a 30 for 30 about the pipeline. It'll be called the pipeline.
When they win a championship.
Yes, when they win a championship with
all the OKC cast
Trey
offs.
Man and
Oos
and Poku will come back, and
he'll be back.
Come back, and it'll be a rags to riches story. It'll be great.
So that gets us down to now we're only 23 million over, but remember we have to factor in some of these first round picks.
Yeah.
So for the sake of ease, let's just go ahead and put let's just say they draft all 3 first rounders. Okay. So now we're back to 33. Oh no. Okay. In this first version, we're just going to not pick up Isaiah Hartenstein's contract.
Yep.
Send him off into free agency. Mm-hmm. Maybe he'll be playing with Josh Giddey. Another pipeline.
The pipeline continues.
Okay. When the Bulls and Hornets meet in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
With all former Thunder players.
And they'll go to 7 games while the Thunder are waiting in the finals.
Yes.
For them. Then that is something I'm looking forward to.
So now we're down to only 5.3 million over the second apron. Mm-hmm. There's a couple things you could do right now. You could trade Isaiah Joe. You're done, basically. I mean, even if you bring back a player making like 5 million, you'd be fine.
That's the guy that Yossi and I talked about that makes the most sense, because you're going to have guard minutes opening up for AJ and Topic.
Right.
And they're neither of them are great like direct replacements for what Isaiah Joe does. But I think that AJ, like if you're going to replace Isaiah Joe with somebody, AJ is not a bad way to do it.
The other thing you could do is Kenrich Williams has a team option next summer.
Yeah, he does.
Now, we all like Kenrich. We want Kenrich to retire a Thunder. What if you did kind of what we're talking about with iHeart? What if you declined the team option and brought him back on a cheaper deal? Because, Kenrich is 31 now. He's going to be 31 in December. Like, is he going to get much more than a vet min on the open market?
I don't think so. I think you could decline it and bring him back on a vet minimum.
Okay, so let's do that. So that's 3.8 around. Not $4. That's too cheap.
No, Kenrich, no.
Okay, it's somewhere around 3.8 million for the vet min.
Yeah.
Okay, so just doing that, we haven't even traded Isaiah Joe. We're already down to 2 million. So you're at the point now where, you could trade one of those first round picks, bring in a minimum contract player, and be like within 300,000, because I think the minimum contract is like $1 million or something.
Yeah, this is why, like, Thunder fans, like, this is just the most simple way to do it. And, But it, like you said earlier, it's very contingent on how Sorber looks. And then also, I think the other thing that I've been saying a lot is like, does Jay Will continue to get better?
Yeah.
Because Jay Will was good. Like, he was legitimately good for them. Down the stretch of the season, he became a better player. I thought he was so good against Denver. And he's still young and developing, and a guy that they re-upped with that I think is another like here for the long haul kind of guy, like character in the locker room kind of guy. That like why not him too? Why is he not part of this equation?
So we just essentially got under the second apron by letting Isaiah Hartenstein walk, declining Kenrich's option, bringing him back on a vet min.
Yep.
Declining Usman Jang's qualifying offer, and trading one of our firsts for a future pick.
Yeah.
Now, you have to fill in someone in Usa's spot. So, like, you probably are adding, like, 2 vet min guys. So this isn't, like, perfect. Like, you're still going to have to do a little bit more wiggling. But we're within, like, 1 to 2 million of the second apron. So you can figure it out at that
Maybe
point.
Brooks is good, and they convert him.
Yeah, something like that. Or, again, like, this is without trading Isaiah Joe. You could trade Isaiah Joe, and this is way easy. So
Yeah, that's true.
But this is like the bare minimum you could potentially do and get within the second apron.
Yeah,
and that looks relatively feasible.
Yeah.
Again, you might be off by like 1 or 2 million, so you might have to do one other thing. Okay, so in the second version, we also declined Usman Jang's qualifying offer. He's
Yep.
off the books. In this version, you probably have to trade Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, and you might have to let Kenrich walk. Possibly. We'll debate that in a second. Now you're at a point where you just lost Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Kenrich Williams. You're $6 million still above the second apron. But remember, we're going to, in this version, decline the team option on Isaiah Hartenstein and try to bring him back at a lower number.
Yeah.
And let's just say 22.
Yeah. Which it feels like something that if the Thunder are going to do it this way, it's going to have to be, and I keep going back to this question that I asked Presti at his press conference, end of season press conference, where I asked him just like, how did you get these deals done with Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Kenrich? Like, what was that like? He's like, it's very collaborative. It would have to be extremely collaborative with Isaiah Hartenstein. Like, hey, what do you need to give up to get to the place where you need to be comfortable? Well, it's like exactly this like 21.7 million number or whatever it is.
Yeah. Now, where this gets hard is that you still have to fill in the rest of the roster.
Yeah.
Now, you can do it with some of these draft picks because in this scenario, we traded Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Oos is gone, and Kenrich Williams. So we lost 4 players. Let's add in all 3 of those first-round picks. So in this scenario, they draft all 3 players, and then they sign like a minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's not perfect. Like you're probably still like $1 million to $2 million over. So you probably have to do one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you're close. And I just think I just wanted to bring this up that like you're close enough where you have to ask the question, especially coming off of last year's playoffs. If the choice is between Isaiah Hartenstein and Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Kenrich Williams,
mm-hmm.
who do you take? And I want to say I don't think there's like a wrong answer necessarily because Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Kenrich Williams do offer a lot in terms of depth that you will probably not be able to immediately replace if you're just asking like first round picks and vet minimum guys to come in and replicate what they did, especially in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're putting a lot more pressure on your young guys because now all of a sudden, like some of those first round picks, they need to play rotation minutes in the regular season to help you out. Like, if you have a player like Dylan Jones in this scenario in the 26-27 season where you've lost all this depth, like he's probably going to need to play more than he played in his rookie season,
Yeah.
And if you don't nail some of those picks, does that lack of depth start hurting you at some point? But for the playoffs, like that team is still pretty stacked.
It's very
because
stacked.
you're keeping all of SGA, Hartenstein, Dort, Caruso, Chet. You still have Jay Will in this scenario, J Dub, Kaysen, and you have AJ.
You got AJ, yeah. And it
Like, forget all of the extra picks, forget Sorber, forget Topic. Like, that team is still really stacked. Again, you probably need to make one additional move in this scenario.
maybe one of Topic, Sorber, or Brooks Barnheiser is good.
Yeah. Oh, I just mean like you're probably going to need to make at least one more move to get below the second apron.
Oh, to get below the second apron. Sure.
We're close, but it's not going to be perfect once you start adding in like one additional contract.
And in that scenario, I would still just be surprised if they brought in 3 draft picks. Like, I would guess that they would trade one of those picks for a future pick.
But see, I almost feel like in that scenario where you're bringing back Hartenstein, I would be more willing to draft 3 players because you're going to have to fill out the rosters. So the question is like, can you get a vet min guy, which you might be able to? I mean,
I was about to say, I think I would rather do that. I think I would rather at that point try to bring in a veteran that can help you a little bit in those in like big moments, because I just don't. If you're going to compete for title after title after title, which I think this team is going to do, you're going to continue to need to like have like guys in the room that are helpful. And like the more of these young guys there are, I think it's tough. I think it's just tough it's tough to develop all those guys at once.
Oh, okay. You're sounding like the old OKC haters during the tanking days. They can't develop all these guys. They can't use all these picks. Why not, Andrew?
What I'm saying is and we'll even learn a lot this year, because I think this roster is ridiculous. And I just think it's going to be hard to get like incredible and meaningful minutes for every single person, and they will find a way. Mark always finds a way to do it. I guess at that point, you just need to have like a lot of information and feel like really comfortable with who you think guys like Sorber and Topic are. Because if you get to that point, which is totally possible that we get to year 2 with these guys and we still don't have like a awesome idea on like what their ultimate destiny is as a player, it's probably more likely that we don't know. It's just harder to bring in 3 additional guys plus those 2 and figure out what you got. That's my only thing, is that it just feels like a tough ask while competing for a championship and like being at the top of the Western Conference. It's just a lot.
But they can go for the treble, which would be the G League championship, actually the quadruple, the quad.
Mm-hmm.
G League championship, Summer League championship, NBA championship, NBA Cup champion.
Wow.
What do you think about that?
They've got a real opportunity in front of them.
They do. Now, I would say the biggest swing here, outside of the obvious ones like Hartenstein that we're talking about, is that Philly pick, because I've kind of just done what we did for the over-unders and just put it in the middle of the first round because I have no idea. But like, if they're good, if they're just like solid and they're like the 20th pick, okay, well, that takes you down to 3 million, and all of a sudden a lot of your issues are solved. Not $3. That takes you down to 3 million, and a lot of your issues are solved in terms of having to make an additional move. On the flip side, if they're terrible and you end up coming away with like the 6th pick in the draft or the 7th pick in the draft, now you're talking about like a $6.5 million contract in that first year.
Yeah.
Which you would want to keep that player.
Oh, yeah.
And so maybe the impetus then is like, okay, now we have to move some of these late first because we want to bring in this 6 overall pick. That would drastically change things as well. But I think the general construction is letting Hartenstein walk, letting Oos walk, and maybe getting Kenrich on a cheaper deal, like a vet min, versus declining the option for Hartenstein, but getting him at a lower number, and then trading away Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins. And who knows, maybe in that scenario, you still could bring back Kenrich on a vet min if you do some other things. So I don't want to say you like have to get rid of Kenrich in that scenario.
Sure.
But yeah, that feels like to me the two like major paths. Now maybe there's a third way. Maybe we'll learn about the third way.
I'm sure
because
like you guys are so stupid because there is this like very obvious third way.
Well, I mean, the one we haven't brought up is that Lou Dort has a team option next summer for $18.2 million.
I know.
And I don't think you're going to be able to decline that and get him on a lower number because if anything, I feel like he's an obvious $20 million player, like just as a baseline. So I don't know that you'd be able to get him at a lower number.
Mm-hmm.
So is that a chance where you look to extend him, and what would that number be at? I don't know. That's another big swing piece too.
Yeah,
because they could just sit on it for another year, wait for him to go to unrestricted free agency. He's obviously been here his whole career. I'm sure they'd have a great relationship with him. They could still bring him back, even if he was an unrestricted free agent in the following season. But they tend to like to take care of those things earlier.
Yeah, I mean, you could decline it and give him just like a small raise, you know?
Yeah.
Just because, like, I mean, I don't know. Dort is outrageously valuable, as the voting showed. He hit the biggest shots, you know.
Fan favorite, Lou Dort.
He's great. I love Lou.
I saw on Thunder Reddit, they've been just posting a picture of Dort every day.
Daily Dort.
I don't know if it's Daily Dort. I don't know if it's just for this month or just till the end of time. But
they used to do that, and I remember asking Lou because they were doing it like during the pandemic time. Because I remember when I asked him, I was like on my phone, like asking him about the Daily Dorts, which seems so silly, but I definitely asked him about it.
The other thing is, if they decide they want to keep Hartenstein, and that decision means that they now need to look at trades for guys like Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins to make this all work financially.
Yeah.
How quickly do you move on that? Because you could go until the trade deadline of the 26-27 season before you'd have to make those cuts, to get under the second apron.
I think that you do it in the following off season is when you would move on it.
After this upcoming off season.
Correct. After
this season.
After this next season happens. Yeah. I think like that's when you're going to start seeing, to me, it makes the most sense to make those wholesale moves then rather than like at the deadline, because then you're changing your team. You don't know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Like you could be in another Gordon Hayward situation. Like who knows?
No.
Like the guy just stops shooting and then gets mad about it. I don't know. There's a guy in the draft that's going to UConn. He'll be a freshman named Braylon Mullins. So
Braylon Mullins.
Yeah. So another chance at a B Mullins here in OKC. Yeah.
So you mentioned the possibility of maybe just getting a vet min.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to run through some names of guys who got veteran minimum contracts this summer.
Yeah.
Just to give people an idea of who we're talking about. So like Jayshawn Tate, is he didn't get re-upped? I thought he got re-upped.
I thought he's staying with the Rockets, right?
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
Jaden Springer, Jared Butler. Remember him?
Yeah, Jared Butler. Yeah.
Lindy Waters, Jock Landale. These are actually just guys who are making around that amount. So we're talking like 2.5 million to like 3 million.
Yeah.
Cole Anthony Gill, which is always a name that sounds like a guy who like played in the 90s. And I couldn't pick Anthony Gill out of a lineup.
Kendall Gill.
Kendall Gill.
Yeah.
Is it his dad?
Don't know.
Let me look it up right now. Because I know everyone cares. Anthony Gill. Here we go. Nothing.
No, fact, Anthony Gill and Kendall Gill are not related. Yeah. They have different birth dates, parents, and family structures. That's what that
Interesting. Is that Google AI that said that?
said. Yes.
They have different birth dates. That doesn't tell you. That doesn't have anything to do with our question. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
They have different family structures. Okay, thank you, Google AI. Jalen McDaniels, Amir Coffey, Javonte Green, Jordan McLaughlin, Tony
Yeah.
Bradley, Aaron Holiday,
I'm looking
Bruce
at guys
Brown.
that'll
Occasionally, you get like a random Bruce Brown where it's like, oh yeah, if Bruce Brown was on a
yeah,
minimum,
sure, we'll take that.
that'd be fun. Drew
Yeah.
Eubanks, he's like a backup center. Marvin Bagley, Josh Okogie. So those are like the type of names.
Well, and like,
So
what even position would you be wanting in this scenario? Like, probably a forward.
I would say in the scenario we're getting rid of Joe and Wiggins, I think you got to bring in shooting. If you can find a vet min shooter,
Yeah,
who has the potential just to come in and hit some shots.
yeah, I mean, that would be ideal. Those guys are not super easy to find.
They're not, but every couple of years, I feel like there's a guy who ends up getting paid that starts out as like a vet min, like Sam Merrill or something.
Yeah.
They'll start out.
Hey, maybe Malik Beasley will have cleared his name by then.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think he will have, but maybe.
Did you know there's a guy that's on the Bulls named Wooga Poplar?
I saw that the other day when I was doing something, and I'd never seen that name before. I was like, how have I never haven't no one told me about this name before?
Wooga.
That's a great name.
There's a guy named Igor Milicic Jr. on the Sixers.
I did not know that. I've never heard that name in my life.
Yeah, me neither. I'm scrolling on Spotrac trying to find minimum guys. Oh, Keon Ellis. Keon Ellis is on a minimum.
Now, it's funny, Andrew, you say you want vet mins, but I can almost guarantee by next April, when we've started talking about this upcoming draft, there will be multiple guys in the late first that you are
100%
in love with.
Yeah, you're right. Like, I'm gonna be all on the JoJo Tugler train.
Yeah, I feel like you're already on that train.
I am. Who doesn't want a player named JoJo Tugler on your team?
And I have been listening, to some of the like 2026 draft previews. It obviously people are more excited about the top of the draft.
Yeah,
because it seems like there's more good players than there were last year, or like players to really get excited about.
Yeah,
but it also seems, at least from what Vicini said, that he's more interested in the rest of the draft too.
Yeah,
he just likes the draft overall more.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Now it's preseason.
Rylan Stiles is texting me. He's listening live, I guess. Igor Milicic played for his Tennessee Vols. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Go Vols.
Yeah. Shout out to the Vols.
Go Vols. So I just thought that's fun to go through. And here's the big takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching, or even if you're following along, just know that even after all these moves, we're still borderline getting under the second apron.
Yeah.
We're still going to be scraping to get under it.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that, how huge is it the way they structured those Chet and J-Dub extensions?
Dude, it is. Yes, that was another thing.
That is going to be the difference between them having to make major changes. Yep. If they had given them the full Paulo deal, mm-hmm. and let's say the thing that happened with Evan Mobley happened, where maybe Chet wins Defensive Player of the Year or something like that.
100% can happen.
They're having to make that Dort Caruso, Keeson Wallace decision next summer.
Yes, it is
whereas in this scenario, they might be able to push that decision off another year, which would be crazy if they can keep all three of those guys for an entire another season.
Yep. Yeah, it is a massive deal that they were able to get that done. And it goes back to the relationships they have with these players, their ability to collaborate with them on very meaningful deals like that. It will shape the way they build the team. Which is very cool to see that guys like that are not only committed to the Thunder and a team in Oklahoma City, but so committed that they're willing to concede, millions of dollars potentially in order to keep the team together. And
and honestly,
yeah,
fair deals.
Yeah.
teams shouldn't have to give everything to every player.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think I understand why Paulo got that deal, but I think a deal like Chet's or a deal like J Dubs would have made perfect sense for him as well.
100%. 100%.
Like I get it. If you have like
He's
young
not
Luka,
LeBron. He's not
right. If you have young
Durant,
Luka, a player
not,
like that,
yeah, he's not those guys.
like teams are going to have to start doing this. Like start recognizing that like we don't have to just knee jerk give everything to any player that's shown any like positive signs, even if they're really good, even if they've made an all-star game like J-Dub. Like there has to be levels to this. It's one of the reasons why I hated the De'Aaron Fox deal.
I know.
Like, why is he getting the max? Why? There should be levels to this.
And if you don't, you will have to make really hard decisions before you're ready to, because you just can't stay in the second apron. Like no normal team. The Thunder are actually like the team that is probably more equipped to stay in the second apron as long as the team is willing to pay for it, just because they do have excess picks and they have guys they like. And like you just like they're like probably the only team. Then you get to everybody else. It's not something that teams are willing to stay in or can stay in for any length of time. So just like the Thunder are in such a great position. And I think as we like continue to get further down the road, it's going to become more and more apparent that the Thunder are in such a better position than everybody else. You know, it's cool. It's very cool. Even like this exercise is like, these are your two options. Like both are pretty good options, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
both are good options.
We're not talking about, hey, if the Thunder make this decision, boy, we're going to be screwed. You know, it's like, no, I mean,
you look at Boston this summer. Like there was no good option in Boston this summer. They were going to have once Jason Tatum tore his Achilles and there's no chance they're going to win a championship next summer.
Yeah.
Like there was no good option. It was basically, let's do everything we can to hold on to Jaylen Brown and Derek White and just kind of liquidate every other player asset that we have on this roster.
I know.
Which is rough. And you don't want to get in a position like that. And, you know, if he doesn't get injured, I would hope that they probably make some financial cuts, but they're going to keep the core of that team together.
Yeah, things would have been different, certainly.
Yeah.
Had he not gotten injured like that.
And Horford probably comes back on a reasonable deal in that scenario too.
Yeah. Yeah, no
But
question.
yeah, the Thunder are just in a great setup, and those two extensions were they're just really good deals. And I think they were very fair for both sides.
Yeah.
They especially the J-Dub deal, like it allows for the possibility of getting some escalators.
Yeah, it doesn't take it off the table. It
doesn't take it off the table.
Like go get them. Yeah.
And then with Chet's deal, you know, it's a balance of like the injury risks that we've seen, versus giving him a rookie max. And so I think both deals found a really good balance there, and it's going to pay off for the Thunder as soon as next summer when they have to start making these decisions. And maybe because of that, they get to keep a J Will, you know, or someone like that. Whereas in another scenario, they would have had to move on from someone like J Will.
Yeah, there's no question that you would. I mean, it's like $10 million worth of player salary that you'd have to move on from.
Yeah.
Otherwise. And if J-Dub makes All-NBA first team,
then you don't care because
you're going to willingly let go of whatever, because you have now not only have Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, you have Michael Jordan on your team now, and you're going to go win 7 championships, you know, so it'll be okay. And the guy, listen, he's out there working still, and he can only work with his left hand. Like, what's he going to be whenever he has worked an entire offseason only with his left hand?
I'd love if he became left-handed. As a fellow left-hander.
Ooh.
That was one of the early reasons why I like James Harden so much.
Yeah.
Because he was left-handed.
Yeah.
So he became my favorite player in those early Thunder days. Got about 3 years out of that.
Well, now you can. I'll ask J-Dub if he'll just become a full-time lefty now.
That would be really sweet. That'd be a wild career pivot.
Listen, for my friend Alex, will you just please become a full-time lefty?
Okay, just ambidextrous. Okay, how about that? Let's just start there.
Well, that's part of what I'm saying is that it is like with every like bad thing that happens to like a player, just in life in general, with every bad thing that happens to you, there's always a unique opportunity that'll present itself. And with J-Dub, like the unique opportunity that's presenting itself is like the ability to like truly work on that hand without the ability to use the other one. It's just interesting. It's just an interesting opportunity for him. So we'll have to see how it all pans out. But all right, that's an August 19th, 6:00 podcast for you.
Done in the can.
In the can. Thanks so much for listening. Hope everybody's doing great. Hope everybody's kids got off to school and you guys are all doing awesome. We appreciate you guys listening. Or if you're at school, I've like started to hear about kids that listen to our pod
At school?
I don't know if it's at school or not.
Hey, get off them. Hey, if you're in class right now.
If you're in class right now.
Take out those headphones. Listen to your teacher.
Come on. Actually, you can't. If you're in Oklahoma, at least. There is no cell phones bell to bell. Now,
where do they put them?
They like you can't bring them, or you have to like have them like completely put away, like for the entire day. Like you can't have them in the hallway.
That's easy. That's easy. That's easy. One AirPod in the ear, beanie every day. It's in a hidden pocket in my my backpack, and I just have to click to start the podcast. Easy.
Somebody's doing that right now. You're also talking to guys that would sneak our PSPs into class.
Yeah.
And
link up.
And link up and play. Oh boy. All right. Everybody have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you guys again on Friday.
Until the dawn, until the dawn.